Greetings! I'm a Cure for Death from the Blackwake community group, Candlelight Cove. In cooperation with Massfire Studios, I'm creating a series of videos to explain the basics of Blackwake. Today we're looking at new material in Blackwake based on the many improvements that have been introduced through the 3.0 update. After joining a server and picking a ship, the first thing you will need to do is choose a loadout. Players won't be able to do anything before they equip themselves. Do this by pressing the M key and then pressing the confirm button after you select your primary, secondary, melee, and special weapons. Like many other PC games, movement in Blackwake is done with the W, A, S, and D keys by default. The spacebar is used to jump, and control is used to crouch. You can interact with many objects by pressing the E key. If you want to exit out of any of these objects, hold the S key to go back. The E key is also used to pick up objects. Pressing the Q key will display additional information on your HUD, including the team tickets, allied ship markers, and locations of fellow crewmates. If you selected the spyglass, right-click with it and look at enemy ships to determine their range. Once you see text giving you a score, it will be spotted for everyone else on your ship to see. Spots last for a short time and need to be refreshed constantly, otherwise they disappear from view. The bread and butter of combat in Blackwake is through ship cannons, and there are several steps needed to load and fire them. When looking at a cannon, text information will show you what it needs. Next to the cannons are crates filled with gunpowder and the most common types of shot. These boxes will need a resupply when they run out. First, the cannon needs explosive gunpowder to be loaded. Then, pick the shot type that has been ordered by the captain. In most cases, cannonballs will be the weapons of choice. Once the munition has been loaded, you will need to use your ramrod, and then finally push the cannon into position. You can now grab a linstock from the cannon and fire it. If you want to fine-tune your aim, or fire over 300 meters, you may need to look down the cannon. The ranging system is pretty simple. Pressing Q lets you see the range of the enemy if they have been spotted by spyglass. Next, line up the number in hundreds of meters with the enemy, just like a grenade launcher. If the target is under 300 meters, the cannons can be fired from any position. While the captain does the majority of the aiming, cannons can be turned a few degrees by the gunner using the A and D keys. The alignment of the cannon is reset every time a gunner exits the sights, regardless if the cannon is fired or not. Sometimes there are swivels mounted on the sides of the ships that carry one of two types of ammunition. Swivels mounted in the front typically carry anti-sail shots that are designed to shred enemy sails. Swivels that are located on the side of the boats frequently fire an anti-personnel shot. Repairs are simple and needed to keep the ship afloat. There are three things a crewman can do to fix the ship: pumping, repairing, and extinguishing. Pumps take water out of the ship and are needed whenever there are holes. They slow down the rate at which water pours into the boat. The larger ships have 2 pumps while the smaller boats have 1. If you're not on the pumps, press the 5 key to pull out your hammer. Look for red holes in the wall and click to repair them, making it turn green in the process. Holes can only be repaired by one person at a time. If you see a green hole, don't worry about it. That means that somebody else has already taken care of it. Sometimes cannons and sails will break. These repairs will take longer, and it will take some finesse to climb up the ropes. Some sections, such as the nose, need to be done several times until they are fully repaired. Multiple people can work on these sections, and that is often needed to repair the part as fast as possible. Fires are dangerous to the crew and sails. Put them out by grabbing a bucket quickly before it spreads. If you catch fire, the best bet is to jump overboard and catch one of the side ropes. Or you could wait until somebody puts you out, but don't rely on that too much. Oftentimes you will become injured due to enemy action. When you are injured, the sides of your screen will turn bloody red, and the center will be a ghostly white. The more hurt you become, the worse the effects will get. To get back to full health, you will need the drink. Tea and rum have natural healing properties, so drink up to feel better. You can also pass drinks to your friends by walking up to them and right-clicking. Sometimes you might start bleeding if you are hit, where you progressively lose health. When this happens, a heartbeat sound is played through the audio. Again, drinks are your friends here. The key to being a great sailor is to never be idle and always be doing something. A crew that does things faster than their enemies will always win out in the end. The fort is the home base of each faction and the location for captains to spawn ships. To do this, visit the ship constructor and spawn the ship of choice.
There will be a small period of time where the ship is under construction and won't be able to take damage or sail. Forts are also outfitted with powerful defensive batteries. There are plenty of cannons available to be used on the walls of the fort. There are also several mortars placed on the tops of towers. These mortars have a great range and make attacking the fort a difficult task. However, these towers can be taken out. Each tower has a specific amount of hit points before they are destroyed. The percentage remaining is relayed to the attackers after a successful shot. Once these towers are destroyed, it becomes much easier to attack the base itself. If enemy forces land at the base, it will cause the defenders to spawn much farther back and prohibit ships from being built. The next step is for attackers to breach the gate. Bringing convenient explosives and setting them up at the gate will destroy it. The number of explosives at the gate drop every few seconds, making it impossible for one person to destroy the gate. Thus, a team effort is required. Once the gate is destroyed, the final objective is to capture the enemy flag located at the top of the fortress. This will be very hard because the enemy will be throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the attacking force to stop them.
The munition types you will find come in 3 basic categories: anti-ship, anti-sail, and special shot. Anti-ship comes in 2 primary forms: cannonballs and mortars. Both of these options create holes in enemy ships that cause water to flood the decks. These holes must be patched by the defending crew, and the resulting water must be pumped out. Cannonballs create a single hole and cause deadly splinters to fly through the air. It's impossible to dodge a cannonball aimed directly at a ship. Mortars fire a dozen bombs into the air that splash down wherever they are targeted. The mortar is operated by a gunner that can aim and fire from a wide field of view in front of the ship. They are deadly, and a properly timed one can sink a ship, but they are easy for a captain to dodge and relatively rare on the field. Anti-sail weapons are varied between chain shot and bar shot. Both of these options are effective at slowing enemies by targeting their sails and masts. Chain shot fires a projectile at a sail to cut it down. This shot is several times more effective than the swivel-mounted version. Bar shot completely destroys enemy masts after a few good hits. It takes quite a while to restore the damaged mast, but it is much harder to hit the mast compared to the rest of the ship. In addition, bar shot also has a shorter maximum range due to the weight of the projectile. Special shots, like the heated shot, grape shot, and grapples, are particularly dangerous, but can only be employed in certain situations. Grape shot fires a cluster of bullets in the direction of the cannon. It's not effective over 30 meters, but in close combat it can kill many enemies when properly aimed. Heated shot is a robust anti-personnel weapon that is also effective against sails. Each hit is guaranteed to start a fire that will wreak havoc on enemy ships, but it can only be loaded after cooking a regular cannonball in an oven for a few minutes. Grapples latch onto enemy ships and start a boarding match to the last man. Grapples can be a powerful tool, but a poorly timed one can be detrimental to your team. If you grapple an enemy ship, it locks both of you into a melee deathmatch where the crew is the only thing that matters. Both ships will ignore any holes or water that was previously dangerous, and cannonballs and mortars from ships outside the grapple will not hurt you anymore, so it's worthless to fire into a grappled ship. If you find yourself in a grapple, you don't need to worry about pumping or repairing holes anymore. Just focus on defending yourself against enemy crew. However, cannons from the other ship in the grapple can still kill you, so watch out for them. Once everyone on the ship is dead, that ship will sink and grant the victors a large boost in supplies and tickets. Respawn time is greatly increased during a grapple, and crew that are dead at the start will not respawn. So do your best to make sure that as many people as possible are alive before you fire the cannon. That wraps up this look at new improvements that 3.0 has brought. The most important takeaway is that now captains will need to choose the best ship for the situation at hand, and the crew will have more options to attack and sink enemy boats. For more community guide videos, be sure to subscribe to the official Blackwake YouTube channel. For other Blackwake updates, check the Reddit, Discord, and Steam pages. This is A Cure for Death, and until next time, see you on the 7 Seas.